Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Plan With Me, or welcome if you are new around these parts. Today's Plan With Me is for September, which officially means it's the start of fall. It's also my birthday month, so I really thought long and hard about the theme that I wanted to do. So this month's theme, which you probably already know if you clicked on this video, is a bookstore / cafe theme, and I absolutely love it. The idea for this theme came about by Pinterest, as most of my themes do. I was just scrolling and I saw a exterior of this really cute bookstore and cafe. I don't know if it was real or if it was AI, but it looked real and it was so super cute. And I thought I could sketch this exterior for my bullet journal theme, and it could be like a bookstore theme with lots of library books and shelves, and it could also include a little bit of coffee without being too much. I am a barista. I've been a barista for a long time. I'm general manager of 4 locations, so I do have a love for coffee, so the fact that that's included in here is really special to me as well. And then of course I love books. I've loved reading since I was a kid. My mom was always going to the library and picking out books for us, and I'm also a writer. I've written 3 novels, and I'm currently writing my 4th, so just creating in general, whether that be art through my bullet journal or paintings or, writing a book, is definitely just my passion, just creating. And so to include something like that in my bullet journal spread for September is really, really special. I will say this is a bit of a longer video than normal. That's how much detail I put into this and how much time it took me to complete this theme. So grab a snack, grab a coffee, or if you're journaling as well, grab your journal and just sit in and relax and enjoy the video. So, getting right into it, the left of the cover page has been my best spreads for the past couple of months, which is simply where I write the best thing about each day, or each day that I remember to do it, just so that I can remind myself that good things do happen every day and to focus on the good. And it's been really great. Life can get really stressful, work is super busy. I have lots going on in my life, and so just being able to take the time and write something good about each day that's happened is very important for me, and something that I will continue to include in my bullet journal spreads. But this month I did something a little bit differently. I cut out a piece of cardstock and painted it, and it is a little bit hard to see, but I used a gold jelly pen to do some details around the borders, and essentially I created its own little book. And so the title of this just says Best, and I did put my name at the bottom, MG Wright, as if I were the author of this book, because I'm the author of my life. So I thought it was really, really cool. So you open up the book, and that is where I'm going to be writing my best for each day. But it was just a really fun detail that I'm glad I added. But moving on over to the cover page, I took the exterior that I found on Pinterest and I adapted it a little bit and made it my own. So I changed the color from blue to yellow, just because yellow is more of a fall color in my mind, and my spread last month was very blue heavy, so I decided to change it to yellow. I added a tree in the background that's very fall. I added a sign up at the top, and so yeah, just adapted it, made it my own. It's a very cute facade. I am using watercolor for the majority of this spread. Actually, I think for all of this spread, and I use that gold jelly pen, and that is essentially all that I use. So right now for the cover page, I went in and laid down a base color for the facade. So we did yellow, and we're doing gray for the windows, and wood, like a wooden brown color for the sign. And so we're just laying down the base colors, and essentially I go in and make my watercolors a little less watery, a little bit more opaque, and add in some details throughout the facade. I have not been to a bookstore in quite some time. I live in a very small town, so if I want to go to simply a bookstore, I do have to travel quite a bit of ways, but I really want to go. I want to stock up on some more fall books. I am really interested to start the Throne of Glass series. Obviously, I've read A Court of Thorns and Roses and loved it. People have said Throne of Glass is even better. It's just quite a commitment, quite a few books that I just haven't started yet. I've been reading, I read Emily Henry's new book, and yeah, I read a little bit of everything. I read thrillers, I read mysteries, horror, just fiction in general. I read rom-coms, cozy fall mystery. Like, I'm here for it all. So I need to go to the bookstore and stock up on some cozy fall things because it is fall time. I'm ready for a pumpkin latte. I'm ready for apple cider, pumpkin carvings. Something that I'll include for October is a movie watch list. We do this every year and I just love it. So let me know in the comments some of your favorite fall traditions, or if you have any suggestions for cozy fall reads. I will absolutely love those recommendations. But moving on, I'm adding in more details, adding in some darker colors, and you can see that I also went in with some white just to add some highlights in certain areas, but I added a cute open sign on the cafe bookshop door. I'm working on the sign. For the sign, I just decided to call it Cafe and Books. I kept it very simple. I thought, I could come up with a cutesy name, but it was too much. So we just kept it simple. It's Cafe and Books. And then in the front of the windows, I am adding these cutesy little table and chairs where people can sit outside and read their book and sip on their coffee. And I do add a little bitty coffee cup on one of the tables, which I thought was just a super cute detail. But once I'm done with these chairs, I do add in the tree and the pavement, and it really comes together. Here I am adding in the tree, which I really think brings everything together. I decided to go with like an orangey red tree. That way it's just really fall and you get that sort of fall element. I really enjoyed adding the tree. I think it really brought it together. And here's that teeny tiny coffee cup. And just because I can't help myself, I added a little bit of blue in the background as the sky. And I'm doing this sort of like watercolor brick pavement. Not too much detail on it, but just something to add that little something extra. But we are adding September. We're adding the title of the month, and I did that in green so it would tie back to the book. But we are moving on to the calendar page. I kept the calendar itself pretty simple, and I went for more of an elongated box. I think it was 3 by 6. So three grid spaces across and then 6 down, because I wanted to have more space, but I still wanted it to take up only one page. And then down here in the corner, I'm adding just a lovely stack of books, which I go in with my, again, gold jelly pen and add some details on the spine, which I thought was really cool. And then I'm adding just a nice cup of coffee on top just to kind of tie everything together. I did watercolors for the day of the week, or I guess the numbers of the week. And then I did take this black pen and draw some more boxes to make it more defined, because I can't help myself. But this is the only time that I'll use a black marker. I'm on the hunt for a new fine liner. I've been using a Sharpie fine liner for forever, so I'll probably just end up getting another Sharpie fine liner. But they have all run out of ink, and every time I go to the store, it just evades me to get a new one. But moving on over, I thought this could also be kind of like the cover of a book, or it's just simply the interior of the cafe. However you want to think about it, I kind of think of it as both, because again, I put September up at the top as if it was the title of the book, but this was also a picture that I found on Pinterest that I just translated onto the page. Again, it made it my own a little bit, but essentially I was looking at a reference for this, but it is the interior of the cafe. So when you walk into the bookstore, this would be the counter that you walk up to. You could order a latte or maybe a pastry here. And there's also just a ton of books and bookshelves surrounding the whole thing. So I really love this. I can't decide if the cover page is my favorite or if I like this better. So again, I am laying down the first base color for the shelving and for all the wooden things. And then I'm going in with the colors that I've been using as kind of my accent colors. So we have yellow, we have an orangey red, and then we have green. And these are going to be the spines of all of the books on the shelf. So this did take quite some time. I wanted the books to be, different sizes, different heights and widths, and some put on their sides, some leaning, some just stacked straight across. But yeah, we are adding lots of books. And then something else that I added were these cute little mugs on the side. I figured this is where, sometimes mugs get lost, people set them down in the shelves, or they could also just use this as storage where they keep their mugs for when people order in-house. But we're working on a menu, which I do cover up later because I decided that I wanted the menu to be more of a chalkboard situation. And then I used, again, the gold gel pen to go on top and add the menu specials. So I really love the little pastry container on top of the counter. What is that called specifically? I know it is called something specifically. We have them at the cafe ourselves, but it's just a container holding some muffins, some pastries, and then I figured when people had ordered their coffee, those were 2 orders sitting on the counter themselves. And then I also put a pumpkin latte as a fall special because, again, it's fall, y'all. It is fall, so I really enjoyed that detail. But moving on to the last and final spread, we have our weekly spread. So here's the idea I had for this. I did do a Dutch store spread because I can't help myself. They are just truly the best. I think sometimes when I have to repaint things on every single page, I think the quality of my art goes down and my excitedness kind of goes down. So a Dutch store is just great because I'm still excited, I'm still creative, and I don't have to repaint the same thing over and over again. That might sound terrible, but I just want the best. I want the best quality for each thing that I paint. But anyway, the idea for this is that these books are sitting on a shelf. So I have 3 books, kind of like I did my best spread, that are like little mini books that open and close, and they have the titles on the front with the gold jelly pen. And then I have some books that are stacked and have the day of the week on the spine on the shelf. I do put another cup of coffee on one of these, but I thought this was a really cute way. I wish maybe I had painted the entire thing brown for the shelf, but I think you still get the gist that they're sitting on a shelf, they're resting on a shelf. Some of them are propped up for display, and then some of them are stacked sideways on their spines, and there's a cute little cup of coffee on them. But again, some of the days of the week are hard to see. I promise in person it is much more vibrant. Like the gold is much more vibrant. It's a little hard to see on camera, but hopefully you still can. And then I couldn't help myself, and so I go in every other day and add the yellow again, just again to add more yellow, to add more color, and that is it. So we are coming up on the final flip through. I hope you love this bookstore cafe and fall inspired spread for September. It is definitely one of my favorites. But as always, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in next month's spread.